Moon Souls, welcome to your window into the upcoming moon cycle in Cancer. And before we get into some of the key signatures this cycle, if you're new to working with the moon cycles and you want to align your specific chart, remember this is the new moon photograph that we're looking at. This here is the collective birth chart, it's the collective energies, the potential that we all have, and it will be triggering and activating your chart in a very unique way. To very simply align yourself to the moon cycle and the Cancer energy here, which is 9 degrees, is to go and look where 9 degrees Cancer is in your natal chart on astro.com or Cafe Astrology. And you'll find, for example, it might be here in your sixth house. You'll see Cancer 9 degrees. That's where the new moon is for you, then, this cycle. And then you look at the themes and the environment and the area of life that the sixth house governs: health, habits, work routines. So aligning yourself to move through evolution and guide growth in that area of your life is useful. It will be useful for you to align yourself to that because you'll find that you naturally grow and flow if you do so. That's not to say that Cancer energy, the Cancerian energy, this expression, is not felt through maybe all areas of your life. But for you, it's going to specifically be in that house. So, working with the Cancerian themes of home, of self-nurture, of family, of the soul's calling, bringing yourself back to your roots wherever you are in the world, bringing yourself inward to more connection with your dreamscapes, more connection with your emotional realm, and how you nourish and you feed your inner world, how you feed your soul. The Cancer energy is ruled by the moon. So the moon is really coming home to herself. So regardless of the house that Cancer is for you, collectively, we have this theme of coming home to ourselves and coming home to our emotions. Um, and so flowing with that, however it shows up for you within relationships, within whatever area of life, there's the creative imagination that Cancer brings, and you might find this a particularly useful cycle to really bring that into any creative work or any soul work or freelance work that you're doing. Rules the digestive system. You might find that this, especially if it was in your sixth house, you might find that this cycle, you want to focus on healing your gut, or that part of your body might feel particularly sensitive or triggered in some way. Also, if it's, if you've got Cancer on the ascendant or Cancer in the first house. So that the house and where the new moon is activating in your chart is just a basic guide to align you within where it is most accenting in your life. But it will play out and can play out and be used and worked with in many different ways. And then also you want to take into account the opposite sign and the opposite house, because Cancer finds balance with Capricorn. Capricorn is the outer world, Cancer the inner world, Cancer ruling the home, Capricorn out to work. And so looking where Capricorn would be, which would be the opposite house, say for example, here in your 12th house, um, you then want to, take that into consideration within your reflections or explorations, that the sixth house of physical development and 12th house of spiritual development, they help each other balance. These areas of life can flow and can find a union and be worked with, as so with the zodiac signs, so the Cancer Capricorn axis. And although Cancer is the undercurrent, it's what is the guiding flow of the whole moon cycle. We have the full moon and that revelation, illumination, peak point of energy happening in Capricorn. And so that moment of enabling us to bring balance, to sit on the other side of the seesaw, to um, see things from the opposite way. So I hope that helps, and just flow with it. Just start. Even if you're new to working with the moon cycles, just try it. Go onto one of the astro.com or Cafe Astrology and go and check where Cancer 9 degrees is in your birth chart and check what house it is. So, moving on to some of the key signatures this cycle. And one signature that we've got, which is super potent and powerful for better use of the word, I mean, you can't not use the word power when it comes to Pluto, is this Pluto new moon opposition exact at 9 degrees. Pluto is the planet of power. It moves very slowly through the zodiac. We have it about 15 years through each zodiac sign, through each house. It's only really just started its journey through Capricorn, probably around the last 5 years. We've had it there. And that's going to be in a specific area of your chart. And so there is a long process of transformation, death and rebirth, and empowerment happening in that area of your life. And you'll likely find, I mean, you'd have to reflect back once the transits happen to really see that for its full expression and its full slow transformation. One way, if it will be working with you more potently, is if Pluto is triggering your natal planets in a specific way. If you've got Pluto conjunct your moon, square your moon, opposite your sun, opposite Mars, whatever it is. If Pluto is in some way communicating with your one of your planets, any of your planets really, but looking more within the personal or social ones, this is likely going to be a extra potent moon cycle for you because you've already got and you're already experiencing that Pluto energy in a more prominent way. So, and what Pluto will be doing beyond being in Capricorn is transforming, putting a death and rebirth and supporting you to empower that part of your energy and part of your chart. Even though it may feel intense, even though it may feel destructive, you can choose to work with it I mean, you can't always choose to work. The planets will play out as they play out. We can't control how it always happens. And there are some very painful, very intense, very destructive ways in which Pluto shows up. But there are also ways in which you can work with it and be aware of the energy as a opportunity and an invitation to empower yourself, to empower the planet that it's activating, to transform that part of your life and lean into whatever Pluto is putting death to spiritually, whatever Pluto is, taking all the skeletons out of the closet, cleaning out the cobwebs so that you can actually find more light and find more power in your expression and however it is triggering your chart. So more on a collective level, whether or not it's triggering your chart, we have this journey of power through this moon cycle because it's not just a Cancer, it's not just a Cancer moon cycle, it's a Cancer new moon Pluto opposition. So this may, for all of us, regardless of the house it triggers, test our relationships, test the power within our relationships, test the power within, our work life and our home life. Who are we at home? Who are we at work? And what are our needs? The moon rules our needs, it rules our habits, it rules our unconscious patterns. These things may come up for you within your family, within your soul tribe, all as a way for you to purge out, all as a way for you to bring shadows to light so they can actually be detoxed. Pluto rules detox, and we work with Pluto just as you dig up crystals from the earth and bring through light. We work with Pluto in the same way. So you might find that relationships, this moon cycle, activates some type of empowerment journey for you through shadow work, through deprogramming past conditions, ancestral memories, including in this lifetime, inner child wounds, family wounds. These can all be cancer related. This can all be part of the cancer shadow. Cancer rules memories. It is the sign that also represents our family and our past. So healing that to be able to fully empower and step forward in whatever your ambitions and your goals are in the outer world, and however you can embody yourself as an adult, as a mature adult within whatever responsibilities you've chosen to take on in this lifetime. So, Capricorn is the adult, the Cancer is the child. So it's the mother, but it's also that representing that energy of the infant and coming through that infant phase, needing self-nurture, honoring the inner child and mothering process. So self-parenting may be a theme for you this cycle, and all as a way to find empowerment in how you show up in the outer world. And there may be certain matrices, structures dissolving for you, finding some type of a reordering. And, again, go and check where Pluto is transiting for you by house. It will be in the opposite sign of Cancer. And because you're experiencing this energy in general right now in a consistent way, Pluto really, it's just, for example, let's work with the same 6th and 12th house. Pluto would be there as if the new moon's here, Cancer's activating your 6th, Pluto would be here in your 12th. Pluto's there, it's not moving anywhere anytime soon. It's got a long journey through your 12th house. However, this moon cycle, especially with the sun moving through Cancer, the moon moving through Cancer this month, suddenly you get a chance to find balance. Suddenly you get a chance to grow and develop and nourish the opposite energy of whatever Capricorn structures you're breaking down and also finding strength within. Remember, Capricorn is the skeleton, it's the backbone. It can be too stiff and stuck with blocks and obstacles and immobile, or it can be the strength of the zodiac that holds the force and holds the law in the material world, in the real world, if you like. And so it can be a powerful leadership energy and a guardian that helps commitment and discipline and responsibility and keep things strong. However, if it can get too rigid and too stuck and too blocked, or it can also, you know, be too loose and not have any boundaries. And that would be then if you're too much within the Cancerian energy, which regardless, if there is some imbalance there, this Cancer energy and this Cancer cycle is going to show that to you. It's going to reveal that to you. Um, you know, whether, and that then you'll just have to go into that individually, your home and your work-life balance, your inner emotional world, and outer, your outer strength within your personal goals and your own ambitions, which, we all have. We're all allowed to have, and maybe you don't have them. Maybe it's something that you're scared to have. Maybe it's something that you're transforming, or you've been had other responsibilities your whole life, or you've had other areas you've had to focus on your whole life, and now this is a journey with you with Pluto moving through Capricorn, where actually you're transforming that, and there's a part of you that's stepping out more of, say, a mother role or a family role, or having certain things going on in the home that actually held you back from going out into the world. Okay, so this can play out in so many different ways. And it could be the flip side as well. Maybe you've someone who's worked all of your life and you haven't made enough time for family, or you haven't allowed yourself to feel emotions and to feel creativity. Because we all have all of the signs in the zodiac, even though you might not feel like it, even though some signs might feel completely alien to you, or you may not connect with them. You're going to have more accented energies in your chart, depending on where the planets are and depending on how you uniquely embody the planets and whatever sign they're expressing themselves through. But we all have all of the energies. We all have these human expressions through the zodiac and the different planets that we embody. So definitely um, a good moon cycle to tap into empowerment and empowerment within your home life versus work life, however that shows up for you and wherever you are at on your journey with that. And let's not forget the T square because I love T squares and T squares because Chiron gives us the solution. The apex of T squares is your solution. And so the solution for finding balance within your relationships, within power dynamics, within your career and your home life is self-identity, healing. And this is the journey that we've also just started with Chiron. I might do a separate video on this. Definitely let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. We've started a 4-year journey with Chiron through Aries after Chiron's journey through unconditional love and metamorphosis, and in some ways maybe closing some cycles that we needed to close with the Chiron in Pisces. Now stepping into new beginnings of the self, a new identity seeded, a new creative self being born, and healing that. Um, Chiron and Aries can tend to be the healer that fights for everyone else and doesn't honor its own creative healing power. And on the whole, natives with Chiron in Aries are healers, just naturally. They are healers, and sometimes they're not always aware of that energy, or they are, but they don't give themselves enough credit, or there is a lot of healing around identity and who am I, again, in whatever area of life that it is, especially if it's in the relationship houses, can really accent that. Who am I in relationships? If it's on the descendant, ascendant, first house, seventh house, you might find that also in your fifth house, 11th house, healing self-expression. It's a journey through healing the identity. So how would you use this moon cycle? You use the apex of the T square as a solution when you might feel a push and a pull, or you feel like a tug of war between really trying to find balance within whatever journey of power you're being taken on through family themes and work themes this moon cycle. So the Chiron energy goes, okay, hey, but go and explore this new version of yourself that you're creating, this new beginning that you have with Aries, the healing that you're doing on the self, because healing the self, whether you need to heal more of the Capricorn energy in terms of whatever empowerment process you're going through and rebirthing process you're going through in Capricorn, or whether you need to heal the Cancerian energy in however you show up within the home and who you are within your own emotional realms, or within your soul tribe, or understanding your inner needs, your deep lunar needs. Heal that and know within that um you're going to get a deeper gift of whatever new self and creative seeds are being born through you and with you with this journey of Chiron through Aries. We also have Saturn trining this new moon trining Saturn. This is going to be your outlet. And we have this lovely and powerful Pluto trine Uranus. So if things feel kind of intense and in some ways there is a type of transforming that's happening and you can't quite find the flow, or it might feel intense on either the Cancerian or the Capricorn side, use the trines. The trines are outlets, they're natural flowing communication that happen with the planet. So working this moon cycle with the new moon trine Capricorn as a useful time to find structure and creativity through creative flow, through um, emotional maturity, through a spiritual clarity and understanding. The moon ruling the needs, and Capricorn, which is also the ruler of Capricorn, yeah, Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn in retrograde, um, Saturn here bringing divine order, and it's trying Neptune as well. So this whole theme and general collective energy of dissolving barriers, and so new dreams can be born, or the new dreams dissolving outdated structures. And this is collectively, we can really see that happening at the moment within your chart. You might find within areas of love, within areas of your creativity, yourself, wherever Saturn and Neptune are in your chart, you may have been experiencing this type of dissolving to rebuild, or um, this new structure, new um, reordering within your creative or spiritual experience in life, also with love, because Pisces really rules that unconditional love, and it's this the last sign of the zodiac, so some type of metamorphosis or deep change. And with the new moon being in Cancer, this is a water trine. So there's a flow of energy here. You know, the moon in Cancer can be very psychic. So, psychic information, or information that really comes from a soul level, or through your family, or your family roots, your past. This could all be information or feeling that feeds whatever Neptune and Saturn are dissolving to rebuild in your chart at the moment. Um, and look at the area of life, for example, if it's in your seventh house, relationships might be a huge theme for you, kind of dissolving old and outdated structures to seed new potentials and new dreams. And so, with this Cancerian energy here, with this new moon, this is going to be a beautiful flow of energy where you might just naturally receive intuitions, you might naturally receive this emotional understanding, this logic and reason, and this real harmony between the planet of order and the planet of structure and the planet of time and karma, and this is how it's done in the real world, and in a healthy structure and a useful structure, so that it can continue to build, and that it can be strong and stay and be solid and be committed and be something that lasts for a long time. And then the moon being that emotional energy of our needs, and so that supporting however that's playing out for you in your life through wherever that conjunction of Neptune and Saturn is in your chart. And then with the Pluto and Uranus trine, um, new revelations, freedom of thought, liberating yourself through whatever process of empowerment Pluto is taking you through by area of life in your chart. And the Uranus in Taurus energy, and it's funny because I keep seeing this every time, the outer planets, or the slow moving planets, Neptune, Pluto, and Uranus are our slowest moving. They're all just at the beginning. They've just started their journey through the signs that they're in. So it's really collectively, we really are within the last sort of 5 to 10 years. There's been this huge shift that's happened, and we'll be experiencing this all very individually. But there is this collective shift where the three of the slowest moving planets, and Saturn, it takes 29 years to cycle the sun. It's not exactly fast, it's about 3 years in each sign, 2.5, 3 years. All of them have just started in new signs. So with Uranus and Taurus, it's really after its journey through Aries, of liberating the self, liberating identity. And you can see that with all of the gender rights that became very present politically. And, it was an uprising that happened as Uranus was moving through Aries, which always highlights to me the power of this sidereal zodiac. Um, but this journey that it's now on through Taurus is liberating structures. So for some, this can be showing up as assets, buildings, land. Look at, there's a lot of themes that we can see collectively happening about the liberation and the rights of the land, like indigenous lands and native lands, colonialism. These are all very present themes in a sense that people are now fighting even more in a way that there's a lot, it's becoming more present on social media, freedom of rights. And so this revelational and this social rebel that comes to disrupt but ultimately break free, we can see collectively with Uranus moving through Taurus. And for us personally, for you personally, again, go and check where it is by house, and look at whatever Taurian themes are present for you right now. Um, if you have planets at that, around 7 degrees Taurus, this will be more accented for you and will give a more specific way in what Uranus is liberating for you by the planet that it's triggering. And the Taurian themes rule money, security, physical safety, safety, shelter. It's also the seed of abundance. Um, themes around planting, living off the land, new age ways of connecting with the earth that are more eco supportive. And so in this moon cycle, um, especially with Pluto there being triggered in the opposition, it's a chance for you to tap into how you're working with this trine in your chart. Because if Pluto or Uranus are triggering your natal planets, this trine will be more useful for you, especially if you've got squares or conjunctions going on. Trines are outlets, they're how you can direct the flow of energy and find a flow of communication that actually supports whatever transformation Pluto is taking you through. So in this case, earth signs, themes around money, practicality, and really exploring those themes around revelation and liberation and empowerment for you by planets involved, areas of life, and the general themes that Taurus and Capricorn rule as earth signs. Um, but definitely money, um, earth, structures, foundations, things that maybe have been built and had some type of a foundation that are now being rebuilt, are being restructured, are transforming, and new structures, as I mentioned before, with this Pluto through Capricorn, rebirthing a new understanding of what order is and how you experience that in your chart by area of life. And then the Uranus energy actually breaking you free from possessions, from potentially some Taurus shadows of laziness or you know gluttony. These are all Taurus shadows. There is that beauty and sensuality that comes through Taurus, but there are also this energy of hoarding and holding on to and not being able to let go. So understanding whatever it is that you need to let go of, who you need to let go of. Again, it will show up very uniquely by house if it's triggering natal planets for you, but actually freeing yourself from things that might have been too solid, too dense, too ingrained, and got into the shadow aspect of the earth signs, which in general tend to have that kind of immobility. So it's about freeing up that energy. And Pluto, the planet of power, and Uranus, the planet of freedom, liberation, and breaking free, are really supporting each other through these earth signs. And so finding empowerment through breaking free and allowing yourself to rebirth the earth energies that you have in your chart by house and if there are any planets there.